I think it's a very traditional view. Certainly, the English Democrats are not prejudiced in any way officially, but obviously we do allow freedom of speech within our party, and we're not a politically correct party. Obviously, unlike the parties getting a lot of attention, UKIP, then of course UKIP seem to believe in freedom of speech, provided it's Nigel Farage's freedom of speech.
Yeah, I'm not particularly interested to talk about UKIP right now. We're talking about the English Democrats. You say you're not prejudiced officially. Does that mean that unofficially you are?
No, sorry. I was searching for words. I mean, certainly we're a totally fair party in terms of everybody and anybody who considers themselves to be English is welcome to join the English Democrats, and our sense of Englishness is a nationalist sense or a civic sense. So whatever your views are on any issue, then the English Democrats welcomes everybody.
So an English Democrat candidate for the European elections can hold any view at all?
Well, sorry, we have a diverse membership, and but broadly speaking, if you want to become a member of the English Democrats, you have to broadly agree with the manifesto, and we have a manifesto.
Yeah, but we're not talking about members here. We're talking about people who are candidates for the European elections.
Yep.
And one of those has said there are far too many homosexuals in Parliament. As far as you're concerned, there's no reason for them not to be an English Democrat candidate, having said that.
No, because that is Julia Gasper's personal opinion, and actually she's factually correct in terms of as a proportion. Then I think the amount of people who identify themselves as gay probably is less than 1% of the population, and the proportion of people in the House of Commons. Not that I've done a detailed study on it, but certainly it out of the 600 odd people there, it appears to be a greater proportion of that. And if we're talking about in the Metropolitan Police having a fair representation of black and ethnic people, then if we're going to make everything so it reflects the population, then Julia's point is valid. We're also very concerned about the amount of Scottish and Welsh people in the BBC. Totally out of proportion.
So would you have some sort of limit on the number of people who were allowed to be MPs who were gay?
No, I think that would be silly. But I think that the point that Julia...
Well, if you're not, how can you argue there are far too many homosexuals? How can you know how many gay people there are in Parliament?
Exactly. It's Julia's perception, and Julia is actually holds a traditional view, a Christian view. In fact, most religions have a similar view as does Julia. It's certainly not a key point about the English Democrats. We've got 6 key issues for our campaign which don't cover people's sexuality at all. But Julia is entitled to freedom of speech. And if she wishes to express an opinion, then provided it's not totally extreme, then she's entitled to do that.
So you've told me that's factually accurate. You don't consider it to be totally extreme. Is that something that you personally, as another candidate, believe, that there are too many homosexuals in Parliament?
I would actually prefer if the sexuality of people representing us in Parliament was actually something that people didn't really bother about.
Julia Gasper's clearly very bothered about it.
She is, and I think it's probably because there's a certain proportion of gay and homosexual people who seem to want to put their sexuality literally in your face. And the broad opinion of our party is that what people get up to in their own home and in their own private life is their own business. But I don't think that everybody wants it being constantly discussed and put to the top of the agenda all the time. We're in the 21st century. We've gotten over where people were treated in an appalling way for their sexuality. Let's just get on with life, and let's stop sort of going around celebrating. I don't go on marches saying I'm proud I've been married for 25 years. It's just silly.
So people are allowed to be gay, but they should keep quiet about it.
Well, I think it's just a common sense thing, really, and I think that's there are certainly people in the English Democrats who are gay, but we don't actually sort of have huge debates about it all the time. It's really a question of they're gay, so what? And I think that should be the same thing in the House of Commons. The fact that people in the House of Commons seem to go overboard to actually celebrate the fact that they're gay obviously concerns Julia, and she's entitled to that opinion because we're not a politically correct party and we allow free speech, unlike some other parties.
It sounds like it concerns you as well.
I don't think if you trawl the internet that I've actually made any comments.
No, I'm not. I'm asking you. I don't have to trawl the internet. We're having a conversation.
Okay.
You are concerned by this, are you?
Am I concerned about the fact that you're concerned, or am I concerned about the proportion of gay people in the House of Commons?
You have entered two subjects for discussion here. One is the fact that one of your colleagues says there are too many homosexuals in Parliament. The other is you've just suggested to me there is a problem with gay people, and you mentioned gay people in Parliament, in your words, celebrating their sexuality. I'm trying to find out whether you have a problem with either of those things, and whether you believe that gay people should keep quiet about their sexuality.
Certainly what I do have a problem with is I have a problem with public money being spent on gay pride marches, and people behaving in public in an indecent manner, which if somebody was either gay or heterosexual, it would be inappropriate. As I said, I don't think people should be persecuted for their sexuality in any way. But I think what we want is we want a certain amount of subtleness about things and a certain amount of discreetness, really. Just like I wouldn't expect to go around publicly talking about my sexual life to the world. Then I just don't think it's what the general population want to hear and want to discuss. I think we've got legislation in place which quite rightly protects people for how they want to live their lifestyle. Let's move on.